Hi friends, welcome back to my channel. We are on Royal Caribbean's Adventure of the Seas, staying in a junior suite, stateroom 9294. Come on inside, let's take a peek. When you first walk into the room, you have a master light switch that's right over here to the left. It controls all of the overhead lights for the room. So one thing you need to keep in mind, some ships do require that you put your room key card in here to operate the lights and keep them on at all times, but you don't have to do that here. You can just flip the switch whenever you want to. Then over here you have, this controls the bathroom light. We'll come back to that here in just a bit. A big mirror here so you can do a quick check before you walk out the door. A few shelves, things you can put there, purses, hats, room key cards, anything like that that you want to just have quick access to as you're walking back out the door. And then over here is a really large walk-in closet. And when I tell you it's a walk-in closet, it truly is a walk-in closet. You have a huge bar up top with lots of hangers. And if you need extra hangers, don't hesitate to reach out to your stateroom host. They'll be happy to bring those to you. There's a second bar that's lower. And then all of these shelves along the back side of the wall. And then over here, there's one more small bar that you can use to hang light things like a jacket or something like that. It's not real sturdy, but it will hold a couple extra things if you need it to. You can control the temperature in this room. However, it's not set to specific numbers. So it's just a make it colder, make it warmer dial, but you do have individual control of your own stateroom. And then not only do you have that huge walk-in closet, but there are shelves galore in this room. Here's a big cabinet. It's got basically ceiling to floor shelves, so you can put whatever you want to in there. And then you have a large vanity area. So these lights are controlled by individual switches. And there's also storage behind this mirror. They're just small shelves, but perfect for sort of your get ready things. And then there's another one that's identical on the other side, same setup with the same shelves. Over here, you have your dial that you can control the volume of the announcements, as well as they play some ambient music. So you can turn that up a little bit if you want to be able to hear things in your room, but you don't have to. And then there's also a European outlet. And then down here start a whole bunch more drawers. So this one's pretty skinny and shallow, but then you have a few large size ones. There is a hairdryer. It's 1875 watts, if that's important to you. I know it is to me as a thick hair girly. And then a couple more drawers that are just empty, again, for additional storage. This chair pulls out, so it makes a great space for either a desk, vanity, whatever you need it for. And then another drawer here. This drawer has your continental breakfast menus. You can fill these out the night before, stick them on your stateroom door. They'll bring you breakfast in the morning to your room, as well as some additional menus in here for room service. Then over here, again, that same mirror with the shelf set up in there, and then two US outlets here. Remote control for the TV. And then the same size drawers that we had on the other side of this desk vanity area. And then here, more shelves, more storage. So again, there's just so much storage and ample place to put things in here. That is not going to be an issue for you. TV, it's flat screen. It's on a swivel as well as a tilt. And then under here, another huge storage area. And then over here is another desk area. What this does not have is a mirror like the other section that we saw previously. But again, it's a really good setup if you're trying to get some work done or just an extra place to sit down. So chair just slides out. Up above, more shelves and storage. Below that is an in-room safe just small enough for some valuables, passports, things like that. Small, like an iPad mini would probably fit in there, but definitely not big enough for a laptop or anything like that. And then below that is a coffee / espresso station. It is Lavazza brand. There's creamers, sugar, cups, all of the things you might need if you want to brew yourself a cup of morning coffee. And then underneath is the mini fridge. It is definitely mini. There's one shelf in there. And one thing to keep in mind is that these are not true refrigerators. They're more like a cooler. So they will get things cool and keep them cool, but definitely not the same temperature control that a regular refrigerator would have. And then over here, we have a really decent sized living room area. So you have 2 chairs, a coffee table that moves, so you can scoot this out of the way wherever you want it to be. And then a sofa that does pull out into a sleeper sofa. Wall sconce up here. This light here controls the overhead lights out on the balcony. We'll go out there in just a bit. And then next to the living area is the bed. So on both sides of the bed, you do have a really small nightstand. It just has a single drawer as well as a shelf underneath. This side does have a phone. So if you need to call down to guest services or if you need something from your room attendant, you can use the phone for that. There are reading lights as well as these wall sconces, and they're just controlled by these switches right here. And then you can control the overhead lights with the switch here. And then here is the bed. It is a Royal King. It can be split. So if you don't want to share a bed with whoever you're traveling with, you can split it into 2 twin beds, and then they'll move the end tables in the middle to give you a little bit of separation. And then over on this side, we have the exact same nightstand, 1 drawer, 1 shelf, wall sconce, reading light, same setup. Now let's head on into the bathroom. One thing to keep in mind is there is a little lip here that you need to step up. So if you are stumbling around in the middle of the night trying to get to the bathroom, make sure that you're aware of that. There is a little night light above this doorway that is motion detected. So that will help as well. You have a large vanity, but it is only a single sink. So something to keep in mind. And if you are a liquid soap person, they give you bar soap. So we always just pack our own because we are liquid soap people. These little ends of the mirror open up on both sides. There's a few glass shelves in there that you can store things in. Over here is a towel rack. And then your toilet. Couple more towel racks. And then over here, this, because it's a junior suite, it does have a bathtub. So you have a single shower head, shampoo, conditioner, and body wash. There are grab bars in here. A couple of shelves so that you can put your own shower supplies in here. A clothing line up top. So you can hang anything that's wet, swimsuits, whatever. And then this does have a partial glass closure, and the rest is a shower curtain, which I don't love, but it's fine. One thing I do want to call out is that it is a very large step up from the floor into the bathtub shower. So if you are somebody who has mobility issues, this is probably not going to work out really great for you. I do not have mobility issues, and I still have to really concentrate on my footing before getting in and out of here, or I will for sure trip. Before we head out to the balcony, I want to talk for a minute about the door handle and sort of the mechanism that's required to get it open. I know sometimes when people are traveling with small children or people with special needs that they're really concerned about balcony access. This handle is pretty far off the ground, so you do have to be on the taller side to be able to even get to it. And then it does require a good bit of strength to be able to pull it down and then push it all the way and then finally be able to slide the door open. And now we're out here on our balcony. There is a small table with 3 chairs, so perfect place to eat breakfast, just soak up some of the good sea breeze and air as you're sailing along. But lots of room out here. It is bigger than a standard balcony. The rail is a little bit slanted, so if you want to look over, you kind of have to lean this way a little bit, and there is some protective glass here. A light over here. Again, I showed you that switch inside, so you can have lights on or off at nighttime if you want to out here. And then one thing I do want to point out is that on some ships, these walls open and close. They do not in this specific stateroom. So if you have friends or family on either side of you, you're not going to be able to open this up and have a larger balcony where you can just walk back and forth. That's not an option with this specific stateroom. Thanks so much for watching. If you would like help booking your next cruise, please reach out. All of my contact information is below. My planning services are always free to clients who book with me. I'm an expert in all things Royal Caribbean, and I would love to help you.